When your ex broke up with you, they might have said one of these two things, and here's what it really means. So one thing that's really, really common that people say when they're breaking up with somebody is that they need time to work on themselves. They just want to focus on themselves. And a lot of times what this really means is that, the obligations of the good morning text, the good night text, however many times that you guys see each other, whatever familiarity you guys have built up, and the expectations that come from that in terms of time and maybe not doing other things, is starting to wear down on them, and they want to experience more of that freedom that they had when they were single. Now, when everything's new and exciting, the fact that they're not doing other things and spending time with you is compelling enough for them to stay in the relationship. But now all of a sudden, it's not. And so you have to observe this statement as indicative of a loss of attraction. Yes, chemicals are at play in the early stages of a relationship, but again, it's a heightened state of attraction which you're no longer in. Now, another thing that exes commonly say when they're breaking up with you is that they need space. Now, much like when they say they want to focus on themselves, it can mean the same thing, that they've experienced this loss of identity and loss of freedom, and they want to kind of get a grip on that again. But it also could mean that they're actually breaking up with you, like they need a break, which is really a breakup, and for some undisclosed amount of time, or sometimes they actually put a time limit on it, which you should never take seriously, you're no longer going to be together, and they're going to go out and do whatever it is that they're going to do. Don't ask what they're going to do, because you're not going to like it. But they're breaking up with you, and they don't want to have to go through, dealing with your emotions after they cut you loose. And they also want to keep you on the back burner, so that way they can date other people and see how that works out. And if it doesn't work out, they can come back to you. So even though the second one's a little bit more insidious because they're trying to kind of have their cake and eat it too, okay, either case, if they've said they need to focus on themselves or that they need space, in either case, the root cause of the problem is a loss of attraction. Because you have to ask yourself, who needs space from Jason Momoa? Okay, who needs to focus on themselves when Brad Pitt is their significant other? And I'm not saying everything's about looks, okay, but if you had that same effect that a celebrity might have on a fan, okay, for your partner, that's going to be compelling enough for them to stay. So if your partner said one of these two things, you need to focus on how to reattract them. And a lot of this is going to have to do with going no contact and living your best life. So make sure you're watching my other videos on how to go no contact, how to live your best life, okay? And maybe, just maybe, they might come back around.